You try to create an account, and the system demands a capital letter, a number, a symbol, and a 90-day reset cycle. When we're forced to meet these requirements, human behavior becomes highly predictable. We tend to capitalize the first character, substitute an A for an at, and append a 1 or the current year to the end. For an attacker, these aren't random choices. They're patterns that can be anticipated by even basic cracking software. This is why the hacking economy has moved away from guessing individual passwords. Instead, it relies on the bulk acquisition of historical data exfiltrated from thousands of different platforms. Unlike typical single-company breaches, modern compilations of many breaches, like the 2024 Mother of All Breaches, index 26 billion records. These are structured, queryable databases. Built-in scripts let anyone filter billions of records by email domain to find a target organization's passwords. With such a vast volume of historical data available, many active credentials have already been commoditized. They are sitting in searchable dark web marketplaces, waiting to be used in automated attacks. To understand how these credentials are extracted, we have to look at hashing. Systems don't store your actual password. They process the characters through a one-way mathematical function to create a fixed-length cryptographic digest. This table compares hardware hash handling. Standard processors are limited, but modern graphics processing units run massive parallel tasks, efficiently testing candidate passwords. A single high-end GPU calculates 220 billion hashes per second. Older protocols mean an 8-character password is recovered in under an hour. Today, attackers are increasingly moving away from mathematical cracking in favor of direct extraction using modern infostealer malware. This software often lands on an unmanaged personal device via a fake CAPTCHA or a Trojanized installer. Once active, it queries the operating system's legitimate cryptographic APIs to decrypt the browser's credential store, quietly harvesting every saved username and plain text password. There is no mathematical puzzle for the hacker to solve when they can simply exfiltrate the plain text answers directly from your laptop's memory. Once an attacker has these combo lists, they use automated tools to simultaneously test thousands of stolen username and password pairs across hundreds of different websites. To avoid triggering security alarms, these bots route each attempt through a different residential proxy. By appearing to come from a standard home Wi-Fi connection, the attack blends in with legitimate user traffic. These malware logs also target session cookies. These are the digital tokens your browser uses to keep you logged in after you've already provided a password. If an attacker intercepts an active session cookie, they can import it into their own browser to bypass the entire authentication flow. Because the server thinks the session is already valid, the attacker gains access without ever seeing a password or an MFA prompt. This is the reality of the modern identity market. Threat actors don't need to break into a network when they can use weaponized data to simply log in as an authorized user. In response to these automated threats, the National Institute of Standards and Technology has updated its guidelines. Their latest standards explicitly discourage mandatory complexity rules and forced password expirations. The math behind this change is simple. Adding a special character only increases security linearly, but increasing the length of a password adds entropy exponentially. A passphrase that is at least 15 characters long, even if it's made of common dictionary words, is computationally infeasible for modern hardware to crack. It provides more protection than a short, complex string that is hard to remember but easy for a GPU to brute force. To handle the threat of previous leaks, modern systems now use k-anonymity checks. They can verify if your chosen passphrase appears in a dark web database by checking only a small fragment of its hash, ensuring your privacy while blocking compromised credentials. But the most significant shift in the NIST guidelines is the transition toward cryptographic passkeys. Instead of a secret you have to remember, passkeys use local biometrics, or a PIN, to unlock a unique cryptographic key stored on your device. Because this key is physically bound to your hardware and cryptographically linked to a specific website, it cannot be harvested by malware or used on a phishing site. Secure identity management is moving away from the frustration of complex codes and toward the use of long passphrases and physical hardware-based authentication. To stay ahead of the digital curve without the headache, make sure to subscribe to Refreshing Tech. We'll see you in the next one.